Hey everybody, Johnny Corbin. This is part two of, I guess we'll call this vintage guitars or just guitar history. And this particular guitar is from, try to move the logo here into the camera. This is a 1949, 75 years old, 1949 Epiphone, which had no relation to Gibson at that time. Epiphone was its own company and very famous. The model of this is called a Blackstone. The bridge has been replaced, upgraded. The neck, the body, everything is all original tailpiece. It has had a set of replacement Grovers added to the neck. It's got a beautiful neck on it, comfortable neck. And these guitars were used in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. In the 20s and 30s and part of the 40s, they were used predominantly as a percussion instrument because people played them with a heavy pick. They had fairly heavy gauge strings, usually nickel or Monel, and they had fairly stiff actions or high actions because really what they wanted out of the guitar was the boom chuck sound. That was the rhythm to the back of the band. And these came after the banjo. The banjo played that part for many years in America, and then it progressed to the guitar. Because it also had a cutting sound, but was a little warmer. And then as time progressed, there was a very famous guitar player by the name of Charlie Christian, who was credited, he wasn't the only one, but he's most prominently credited with putting a pickup on an archtop guitar very similar to this. And he started being able to amplify the guitar, which gave him the ability to not just boom chuck, not just play rhythm, but to play single lines just like the saxophone players and the trumpets in the big bands. So now he could actually play solos on the guitar, which was a brand new thing at that time. And he is credited with really being one of the most influential players in American history to all kinds of guitar players, not just jazz players, but a lot of rock players, because the patterns that he played, if you brought them up to today's time and you put an amplifier on it with a distortion and some delay, he was playing modern day licks in his time. And he died very young. He died, I believe, at the age of 26 or 28. But if you ask any of the professionals or read any of the interviews of the professionals, such as Joe Pass, even Tommy Emmanuel, Herb Ellis, Barney Kessel, these are the big jazz guys. They will all credit Charlie Christian with being the guy who really opened the door to what we play now. So if you ever have a chance to look up Charlie Christian material, look him up. It's well worth it. So anyway, this is a 1949 Epiphone Blackstone, and I just wanted to share it with you. Again, this is being brought to you by Corbin. And, we just love guitars. And we understand the history of guitars. And we understand what makes a guitar good. And the reason we understand that is because we find these instruments, both flat tops, jazz guitars, classicals, that have endured the test of time. 40, 50, 60, 70 years. And they still play. They still have good intonation, and they're still very, very usable instruments. It's fascinating to me to think over 75 years, who else played this guitar and what songs did they play on it? It's really amazing when you think about it. So, Corbin, we owe a lot to all the guitars that went before. We were able to play many of them, and come up with the qualities that we liked, that we wanted to make sure that the Corbin guitars had. We were also able to see some of the weaknesses that some of these older instruments had and find ways to engineer the Corbins so as not to have those problems that occur over age. Every guitar is wood, or I should say every wooden guitar is subject to temperature and humidity and external changes that can't always be controlled. So what we all have to do is find ways to minimize the effect that those elements have on the guitars. So anyway, I was going to start with a 1954 Epiphone jazz box, but I forgot that I had this 49 sitting here, and this is really just, again, 75 years and still going strong. So I hope you've enjoyed this, a little bit of guitar history. We'll do it again tomorrow. Have a good day.